Hey, good morning. Welcome to my real estate workshop webinar. It's August 12th, and let's just jump right into it. Get to the PowerPoint here. All right. Today we're going to cover the questions that many realtors pray you won't ask. These are questions that often make realtors shift in their seats, and these are the questions we're going to address today. Now, most webinars are constructed to sell you on agent services. This one, I'm going to pull back the curtain on the real estate side of the business, and I'm going to address these tough questions that are often avoided. My name is Mike Pillow. I'm a realtor of Century 21 Homestar and the 21 Mike team. And please scan my QR code here to watch my short video introduction. You can contact me by phone or text at 740-504-6251 or shoot me an email at mikepillow0707@outlook.com. You can also find me on Facebook and find me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Lake House Fishing and Real Estate. So let's go to our first question here. What exactly am I paying for? And is it really worth it? Well, here's how your agent is working for you. You're not just paying for your agent to stick a sign in your yard. You're paying that agent for their expert marketing strategies, superior negotiating skills, their buying networking, and their expertise to help you avoid costly mistakes. You see, on an average, sellers who hire a professional real estate agent, they often net 10 to 15% more than somebody who's trying to sell on their own. Our next question is, why should I pay you a commission of X percent when I just talked to another agent and they say they can do it for less? Well, it's like anything else in life, you get what you pay for. And with real estate, a lower commission often means lower marketing investment. What this means is, first you have to understand how commission is paid. When at the end of closing, when you pay your broker, and that's where it goes to, the brokerage, the commission, that broker is going to divide that commission up usually into three different sections. First section, broker is going to pay himself. Broker is holding the license, he's paying for the insurance, he's providing administrative staff, and he's providing his expertise or her expertise to make sure everything goes smoothly. They're the ones that are holding on all the responsibility of this transaction. So of course they need to pay themselves. Then a percentage of that commission is going to go towards marketing. Yeah, the agent has to pay for that sign he stuck in your yard. They're going to be paying for professional photos, video production. It's not cheap. And a good agent like myself, I want to be putting your home all over the internet because that's where most buyers are finding their homes. And what's a better way to promote your house is through video. I'm going to be purchasing targeted online ads. I'm going to be using pre-market exposure. All these marketing things, these are the key components that put more money into your pocket. So the marketing is huge. Then finally, what's left of the commission will then get paid to the agent. Because, of course, you don't expect your agent to work for free. So when you're confronted by an agent that says that they can sell your house for less, this is what concerns me. A lower commission rate is going to take away one of these three aspects. Which one of these three aspects do you think is going to be taken away? You know the broker's going to get paid. You know the agent's going to get paid. So the only thing that's left is the meat of the commission. That's marketing your home. So it's not always the best value to go with the cheapest agent. Okay, next question. Why shouldn't I use a friend or family member or an agent from out of town? And why would it matter? Well, it does matter. Choosing the right agent does matter. First of all, you have to remember your home is your biggest investment. So you need to treat it as a business transaction. And oftentimes, when you mix business with friends or business with family, the end result doesn't always fare too well. It's not the case every time, but oftentimes that's what happens. And listing with an out-of-town agent. Why would I list with an out-of-town agent? That doesn't make sense. Well, it does make sense in a market like Apple Valley Lake community because we have a lot of owner non-occupieds. So I may own a lake house in Apple Valley, but I reside in, say, Dublin, Ohio, which is outside of Columbus. So we decide to sell our Apple Valley home. I have a neighbor down the street in Dublin who a top producing agent, good friend. I'm going to give him my listing in Apple Valley. And this agent may be great in Dublin, but here's the problem. Even the best experienced agents cannot effectively serve you if they don't know the area and they don't fully understand the market. You want to go with an area expert. Trusting your home to an area expert empowers you with an agent who understands the local market. They know the area, they know its history. The area expert will know your neighborhood, but most importantly, they're going to know your house. Take myself, for instance. I've lived here in Apple Valley for 30 years. I grew up in nearby Mount Vernon. I know Apple Valley very intimately. I mean, I can tell you the history of so many homes in this area, which is appealing to buyers. When a buyer comes and starts asking questions, I have an answer. Folks, listening with an area expert like me, it just makes good sense. All right, next question here concerning open houses. And this is a great question because there's a lot of confusion. Do open houses really sell homes? Or is it just a means for my agent to draw new business? Well, the answer to this is pretty simple. When open houses are done correctly, and that's the key, they have to be done correctly. They increase marketing opportunities. An open house is going to increase neighborhood participation. Think about it. Who's a better advocate of selling your home than your neighbors? Don't you think your neighbors would want to have some kind of say who's moving in their neighborhood? Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member. That's how you get the neighbors participating. Open houses, when done correctly, is going to increase the exposure of your home. And it's going to lead to unexpected buyer interest. Because after all, isn't it my job to increase the number of buyers interested in submitting an offer on your home? All right, now we're going to talk about hidden costs. What are the hidden costs of selling my home? Now, we can't, on this video or this webinar, identify all of them, but I brought it down to 3 major concerns that you might find hidden costs when selling your home. That's the staging or preparing your home to sell. You want to declutter your house. You need to clean your home. You know, if you're unable to do it yourself, you may want to hire somebody to come in and give your carpets a deep clean or do some landscaping to freshen up the look. Number 2, correcting problems that need repairs. You know, we don't realize how filthy our house is until we start taking down pictures and we see how dirty the walls are. A fresh coat of paint goes a long, long way. Not only does it give the appearance of being crisp and clean, but it also gives the smell of being crisp and clean and new. If you have a door jam that's needs repair, fix it. You have a leaky faucet, fix it. If your flower beds they need fresh mulch, go get some mulch. Lay down some mulch. One thing that's always overlooked is a mailbox out on the curb. If the mailbox is hanging by a bolt or two, take that thing down and replace it. You want to increase the curb appeal so when the buyer pulls into your house, they say, wow. You want the wow factor right from the start. Believe me, that wow factor is going to carry on as they walk through the home. And don't worry, don't just start fixing a bunch of things, putting a bunch of money into your home. Get with me, and I will advise you on what improvements pay off and which ones are a waste of money. Okay, next question here. Why do some agents promise a high price, then later ask me to lower it? Unfortunately, a lot of sellers believe this is kind of a bait and switch type of maneuver that agents pull. Trust me, it's not. What it comes down to is the agent's having a difficult time having a difficult conversation with the seller, meaning the market is the factor that determines the price of your home. You don't determine the price of your home. Your realtor doesn't determine the price of your home. The market does. And it's not uncommon that an agent finds it too difficult to explain to the seller that the market doesn't reflect the higher desired price and ultimately prices the home way too high. And this will result in the home not selling. It's going to increase the number of days on the market. It's going to result in a price reduction, which ultimately results in a lower net after closing. I practice having honest market numbers with real numbers, real data, sit down with the sellers and give them a truthful assessment of what I see the market is predicting your house to sell for. I don't always deliver the news that the seller wants to hear, but failing to have that honest conversation will ultimately harm my seller in the long run. And that's what I do not want to do. I don't want to project any harm on my sellers because I'm afraid to have a tough conversation. It's not a bait and switch. It's just afraid to have that tough conversation. All right, multiple offers. How do I know you just won't push me to accept the first offer? Well, I evaluate each offer for its terms, the contingencies, and buyer strength. I don't just look at the price. My rule is to protect your leverage and create a competitive environment. Where does my listing actually get marketed? Well, when you list with me, my listings go beyond Zillow and Realtor.com. I focus on targeted social media. I use direct email campaigns, direct mail campaigns. I use buyer alert networks. I will expose your listing locally. It will receive national exposure. And yes, it'll also receive global exposure because once your house or your listing goes onto my website, it expands out to 217 other websites, including the Century 21 database that exposes your listing globally throughout 87 countries. The key is more eyes, more offers, and you'll never know where the buyer is going to come from. So again, my name is Mike Pillow. I'm a realtor Century 21 Homestar and 21 Mike team. Scan that QR code and watch my short introduction video. And to get a copy of my pre-listing checklist, which is a tool that's going to save you a lot of these headaches when you get ready to list your home. And have an opportunity to receive a no obligation home review, just simply call me or text at 740-504-6251 or shoot me an email at mikepillow0707@outlook.com. And like we always end our workshops, a little word from my 21 Mike team, Bentley, Finley, and Amos. You're not the only one looking for a home. Please go to your local dog shelter and adopt your new best friend today. Till next week, we will talk again. Thanks.